Good afternoon, everyone. Sorry for the delay. We'll just start with the roll call. Dr. Shahnaz Fatima, ma'am.
Yeah, I'm
Dr.
here. Yes. Am I
Dr.
audible?
Shiv. Yes, ma'am. You are audible. Dr. Shiv Kumar. Dr. Shiv Kumar, sir. Dr. Shiv Kumar, sir. Sir, you're on mute.
Yeah, ma'am. Am I audible now?
Yes, sir. You're audible. Thank you.
Yeah, ma'am.
Dr. Thev, you.
I am still.
Yes, ma'am. Dr. A. Akshay. Yes, ma'am. You're audible.
Your
But
voice is breaking.
Ma'am, your voice is breaking. Dr. A. Akshay. Sir.
Dr. Akshay, sir.
Sir, we can't hear you. Dr. Dr. Ram Pragdish.
Yes, ma'am. Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Dr. Girish.
Yes, ma'am, you are audible. Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Should be starting with the session shortly. We're waiting for Dr. Srinivas, sir, to join.
Yes, ma'am. I have a request, ma'am. This is Dr. Ram.
Yes, sir.
Ma'am, I have a class at 2, so can I go first, ma'am?
Yes, sir. You'll be first on the list. We'll be announcing your name first.
Okay,
Ma'am,
ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Hello, ma'am, one more doubt.
Yes,
Hello.
sir.
Ma'am, can I share my PPT from myself?
Yes, sir. You can share your PPT.
But share content is disabled now.
When you present at that time, we
Okay,
will be giving you, transferring you the controls.
okay, okay, okay. Thank you.
You're not my audio.
Dr. Akshay, sir, you're audible now.
Okay.
Excuse me, ma'am. This is Dr. Praveen here.
Yeah, good afternoon, Dr. Srinivas here.
Good afternoon, sir.
Okay.
Hi, Srinivas.
Yes, great PK. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Shall we start the session?
Yes,
Ma'am,
sir.
Could you please start the session?
Good afternoon, everyone. We welcome you all to the 32nd State Level Annual Conference of the Karnataka Association of Community Health, hosted by Ramaya Medical College, Bangalore. The theme for this year is Redefining Public Health, COVID-19 and Beyond. I would like to introduce our judges for today's session. Dr. Praveen Kulkarni, sir, Associate Professor from JSS Medical College, Mysore, and Dr. Srinivas, sir, Scientist B from ICMR, NIRT, Chennai. We welcome you both, sir, and we thank you. We thank our judges for joining us for today's session. Thank you very much, sir. And without further delay, we shall begin with the session.
The instructions for today's session will be each presenter getting 6 minutes to present. And at 5 minutes, we'll be alerting you guys telling 1 minute is left. And if 6 minutes are done, we'll be stopping your presentation.
Our first presenter for today is Dr. Ram Pragdish, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
So we've given you the presenter privileges. You may present your screen.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. May I start?
Yes, sir.
Yes, from my side.
Yes, sir.
Please go ahead.
Thank you, sir. Good afternoon, and all. Once again, sir, let me just minimize this video. Yes, sir. Good afternoon, and all. Myself, Dr. S. Ram Pragadish. I would like to present my research work on prevalence of burnout among medical postgraduate students, which was done under the guidance of my professor and my research guide, Dr. Chandra S. Medgood, ma'am, Department of Community Medicine, Jain Medical College, Belagavi. Coming to introduction, the World Health Organization's theme for the year 2018 and 2019 is universal health coverage, which means health care for all. But most of the times, we tend to forget that all includes us, the healthcare professionals. In India, there is one government doctor for every 10,000 odd population, while the recommended WHO ratio is one doctor per 1,000 population. There is an estimated deficit of 6 lakh doctors in India. This results in work stress, which is reflected in push down life expectancy of doctors by more than 10 years when compared to the general population. Also, doctors have a higher rate of suicide, as revealed by the study done by Sternhammer and Colditz, with male doctors having a rate of 1.45 times and female doctors having a rate of 1.21 to 1.65 times when compared to the other professions. Period of post-graduation is one of the most professionally stressful period in a doctor's life, where he or she experiences a lot of burnout, which in turn may lead to depression in the longer run. So this study was done with the intention of assessing the prevalence of burnout among medical postgraduate students. Material and method. This is a cross-sectional study done for a period of 6 months among 209 medical postgraduate students of Kach, Jain Medical College, Belagavi. After obtaining informed consent from the study participants, information was obtained from them by either through personal interview or with the help of Google Forms online. 2 questionnaires were used to obtain the necessary information. The first one being a pre-designed, pre-tested questionnaire to obtain information on demography, daily habits like eating pattern, sleeping pattern, physical activity, etc., and leisure time activities like reading novels, watching movies, hanging out with friends, etc. The second one is Copenhagen's Burnout Inventory, which is a standard questionnaire used in many international studies to assess burnout. This questionnaire has a total of 3 sections, which are personal burnout, work-related burnout, and client-related burnout, with 6, 7, and 6 questions in each section respectively, accounting for a total of 19 questions. Each question has a total of 5 options, which are scored as per Likert scale, and the mean score obtained by each participant is used to grade them among the 4 grades, which are low burnout, no burnout with a score of 0 to 49, moderate burnout with a score of 50 to 74, high burnout with a score of 74 to 90, 75 to 99, and severe burnout with a score of 100. The obtained data was entered into Excel sheets and analyzed as mean, standard deviation, percentages, and chi-square test was to do association of variables. Coming on to results, socio-demographic profile of the study participants, 57.9% of the study participants were aged less than 27 years, while 52% were females. 91% were doing their master degree, while 9% were in their diploma. 50% were from first year, 30% from their second year, and 20% of the study participants were from their third year. 81% of the study participants were doing their post-graduation in clinical subjects. Habits, 40% of the study participants left less than 6 hours a day. When we see eating habits, 21% ate thrice a day at appropriate times, while 42% ate thrice a day at inappropriate times, and 37% skipped meals often. Study participants with a physical activity of 30 minutes or more per day were considered to be physically active, and out of the study participants, 39% were physically active. When we see spiritual dimension, 31% of the study participants prayed daily, while 26% prayed only at times of stress and distress, and 43% didn't pray at all. Leisure time activities, 68% perform less than 5 leisure time activities in a day, while 32% perform 5 or more leisure time activities per day. This graph shows the prevalence of burnout in postgraduate students. We can see that 59% of the participants had personal burnout, 56% had work-related burnout, while client-related burnout is relatively low with 32%. This may be because most of the time it is the consultant who experiences more client-related burnout when compared to the postgraduate students. And we can also see that moderate level of burnout has the highest prevalence in all the 3 types of burnouts, and there is no postgraduate student with severe level of burnout. This graph shows the factors influencing prevalence of personal burnout. We can see that it is the final year students who have the highest prevalence of personal burnout among all the years, and participants with inappropriate sleep, inappropriate eating habits, who are physically inactive and who didn't pray or prayed irregularly also had a higher prevalence of personal burnout. Again, when we see the factors influencing prevalence of work-related burnout, it is the final years who have the highest prevalence. Similarly, participants with inappropriate sleep, inappropriate eating, and physical inactivity had a higher prevalence of work-related burnout. When we see factors influencing prevalence of client-related burnout, again, it is the final years having the highest prevalence of client-related burnout, and participants with inappropriate sleep, inappropriate physical activity, and irregular prayer again had higher prevalence of client-related burnout. In addition to these factors, subject in which the participant was doing their post-graduation also played a role in influencing client-related burnout, with participants doing their post-graduation in clinical branches having more prevalence of client-related burnout when compared to non-clinical and branches. Concluding, prevalence of burnout among medical postgraduate students, personal was 59%, work-related was 56%, and client-related was 32%. Factors influencing prevalence of all 3 types of burnout are final year of post-graduation, inappropriate sleep pattern, and being physically inactive. Personal and work-related burnout are also influenced by inappropriate eating habits, while personal and client-related burnout by a spiritual dimension. Client-related burnout is also influenced by studying in clinical subjects. Hence, I would like to recommend that every educational institution should have a counseling center with a psychologist whom the students can approach whenever necessary, so that problems like this are identified early and treated early in order to avoid any complications in the longer run, like depression and any other mental health problems. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. We'll begin with a question and answer session now. Judges. Sir?
Praveen, you want to start?
Can start.
PK. Okay. Mr. Ram, is your questionnaire validated in India?
Yes, sir. It was done in a study called Puma Studies, which is an international study.
No, is it validated in India for the population in Karnataka? Has it been validated?
It was also done, used in studies done in India, sir.
Okay.
The study was done in West Bengal. It was used in West Bengal as well, sir, to study burnout among nurses and other health workers.
Okay. Did you which language questionnaire did you use? It was self-reported or the interview?
Sir, for few of the participants, I went and conducted personal interviews, sir. But since it was difficult to catch hold of them all, it was some of them were answering the questionnaire through Google Forms, sir. It was sent online.
Okay. Can you list at least one bias in this results you have got?
Sir, mostly it will be recall bias from the participants because
What recall? So people will forget about their stress. That's what you meant to say.
not exactly stress, sir, but it won't be exact what like the it will be difference. There will be a difference in the amount of stress each day. So this day they may be stressed, and after 2 days they may be fine. So while at the time of assessing they may be fine, but they would have had a stressful week earlier to that. So it may play a role in.
Okay, if you are given to do a two subgroup analysis,
Yes,
probably
sir.
probably the factors which are not there in the your standard questionnaire, what
Yes, sir.
might be those two, which are culturally specific to Indian system?
I didn't get your question, sir. Exactly.
If there are other variables which will influence the burnout, what
Yes,
might be
sir.
the other variables you want to add culturally specific to India?
Culturally specific to India, sir. Um,
Okay, I will put the other way. Does
yes.
marriage has anything to do with the
Ah,
burnout for these people? Have you subgroup analyzed on marriage, whether married or unmarried?
no, sir. I just used the age, sir. But yeah, sir. Marriage could play a role
Okay,
in your personal burnout.
visiting to the family. See what you usually
Yes, sir.
do.
It was there, sir. Hanging out with friends, visiting family, and talking to family and friends over phone. All were included in leisure time activities, sir.
No, one more. What about the hostler versus localite? Is that
Yes,
subgroup
sir.
analysis will make a variation?
Yes, sir. It will make variations.
Have you considered that?
No, sir. In my side, I didn't, sir. Because most are like 90% of them were hostelites, sir. Only 10% were staying outside. But yeah, sir. I didn't include that in my study.
Okay, asking the question to a final year postgraduate just a month before exam and a
Yes.
fresher who has joined the first year, does it make a
Yes.
difference?
Yes, sir. It will. Their final year will have more anxiety, sir, and
Okay,
the chance of depression is also more in them. But a first
what?
year was freshly joined, the chance of anxiety or anything is less because they are new into post graduation and they'll be excited.
So, what all the headings of bias will you list? All these three variables which I told you.
Sir,
Okay, fine. PK, all
yes,
yours.
sir.
Oh, Praveen, Dr. Praveen will ask you the further
Yes,
questions.
yes. Thank you, sir.
Sorry to interrupt, sir. The 2 minutes of question answering is done.
Okay, there is time for question answer also. Okay,
Yes, sir. It's 2 minutes.
okay.
Shall we move on to the next participant, sir?
Just ask Praveen, no?
Praveen, sir, shall we move on to the next participant?
Praveen, are you there?
Yeah,
PK.
please move ahead. Please move ahead. I don't have any questions.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
fine. Yeah,
Thank you for this opportunity, sir. Thank you.
okay.
The next participant is Ms. Fatima. Ma'am?
Hello.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am, you can present your PPT.
Yeah, thank you. Is it visible and am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, you can. Go on.
Thank you. Yeah, good afternoon, one and all. I'm Dr. Shahnaz Fatima, third year PT scholar from the Department of Swastavarta, Vaidyaratnam Peace Warrior Ayurveda College, Kottakkal, Kerala. I'm going to present before you on the topic Stigma in Public Health under the guidance of Dr. Soumya Sinaya, Assistant Professor, Department of Swastavarta. So, stigma can generally be meant as a mark of disgrace associated with a particular circumstance, quality, or a person. It can be related to health and non health issues. Although stigma arises as a social issue, it ends up in creating medical inequalities like being a barrier to health seeking behavior, engagement in care, etc., ultimately deteriorating the quality of life of the patient. So, this study was aimed to understand the issues linked to stigma and the strategies to combat against the same. So we did a electronic database search on the keyword stigma, public health, non-communicable diseases, COVID-19, and implications of stigma on public health. We searched for published peer-reviewed articles from the year 2000 to 2020. Moving on to the results. So stigma was generated as a 5 process which are interlinked to each other. They are labeling, stereotyping. Then the labeling groups separates the patients from us, so they experience discrimination. Then there is a rationalist structure for rejecting, valuing, and excluding. And finally, the exercise of power comes in. So after that, we have to be careful about the duality of the roles of family, friends, healthcare professionals, and media in perpetuating and mitigating stigma. So, structural elements like media, through negative portrayal and stereotyping, can perpetuate stigma, whereas through social support, by raising awareness, it can mitigate stigma also. Moving on to the stigma and non-communicable diseases. We often associate stigma with mental illness. Obviously, the mentally ill patients are doubly challenged with the disabilities of the disease and also the negative perceptions or the prejudice that is prevalent in the society. But what about other diseases like cancer, diabetes, etc.? So these all factors were noted to cause stigmatization in the patients, that is avoidance and isolation, etc. And many of the studies reported poor medical outcomes in cancer patients who feared health-seeking behavior because of stigmatization. And moving on to the mitigating factors, there were mainly 2 strategies reported, that is the coping strategies and social support. Among the coping strategies, disclosure was a successful strategy in combating against the stigma. Social support included tangible support like financial assistance and intangible support like emotional support from the peer groups and family groups. Majority of the studies reported health education as a successful strategy to combat against stigma. So there was an overwhelming need for public education and informed better conversation about the disease to the patients. It is not limited to non-communicable diseases. When we move on to the communicable disease platform, the stigma associated with COVID-19. Why was COVID-19 causing so much of stigma? Because the newspapers were flooded with news like fighting a virus named stigma, healthcare professionals leaving their apartments because of stigmatization, etc. So this COVID-19 is a new disease for the people, and there are many unknowns. So obviously there was confusion, anxiety, and fear among the public. So it drove the people to hide the illness and to prevent the seek the healthcare, which increased the disease outbreak. So what can be addressed here? We can show empathy and understanding of the disease and adopting effective and practical safety measures. Also, communicating about COVID-19 was critical. Creating a healthy environment to discuss about the disease openly, honestly, and effectively could lead the way. So, COVID-19 and stigma has set as an example of stigma affecting healthcare professionals. Is stigma present in health facilities? Yes, it impacts the well being of the health workforce. The healthcare professionals themselves may conceal their own health status from their colleagues. They may fear infection, etc. So, an improved understanding of how health condition stigma is currently addressed in health facilities is needed to identify the gaps and areas of investment in stigma reduction. Now, what are the strategies we can implement here? The studies reported that clinicians who effectively responded to the patient experiences and who communicated empathetically with an open dialogue with the patients could promote best possible care by supporting the patient's self-esteem and improving both clinical and psychosocial outcomes. So, where can this information be implied in public health? This information can help guide future researchers in the exploration for better evidence of stigma in public health and its response. Also, policymakers, it can provide key information to the policymakers on relevant mitigating strategies to effectively target stigma
Ma'am, we
in the
have
community.
1 more minute left.
Yeah, thank you. In the community and health facilities, the practitioners will know about the stigma prevalent in the society to fill the knowledge gap and to provide adequate care. So ultimately, the patients will be get more benefited. They will be aware and more cautious and will take proper care and seek healthcare facilities at the right time, which will improve their quality of life. So, fostering better communication and rapport with the patients is a key role which should be played by the clinicians in combating against the stigma. Still, stigma is an emerging area of health research. Although it affects much in the population, it is yet to receive enough recognition within the field of public health. So even though numerous policies, strategies, and plans of actions have been developed to tackle the diseases, stigma has been widely absent in strategy formulation process. So a comprehensive and wide-reaching understanding of stigma is still needed to develop effective strategies to best respond to the growing diseases. These are the references. Thank you.
I will start with the question and answer session.
Yeah, Srinivas, shall I ask? Okay, so am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Dr. Shahnaz, it's a good attempt.
Thank you.
Can you just tell me what is the type of study you have conducted? What study design is this?
This was just a review paper, sir.
How do you define what the different types of review papers?
This is a scoping review.
What do you mean by scoping review?
So we can understand a particular topic and the further future implication.
No, it cannot be considered as a review also. How many papers did you review to come to these conclusions? How many papers did you search? What was your search strategy?
So I searched in PubMed, Medline, etc. Among the with that keywords, it was almost 245 articles.
How did you assess the quality of articles you have considered for making this review? What criteria did you use to select the articles?
Yes, sir. I searched for the published peer-reviewed articles in the journals like these Lancet and BMC Medicine. All these journals were considered because they were having more impact factor.
What impact factor cutoff did you take?
No cutoff, sir.
Okay, so how did you come to these conclusions? How did you go through those papers? What do you mean by literature matrix?
Sir, I searched for what is the issues, what are the issues linked to the stigma, and what is the current status of research on stigma.
What do you mean by stigma, madam?
Stigma is experienced by the patients like discrimination, loss of status, etc.
No, there is a standard definition for stigma.
You mean,
There is a definition for stigma. Did you go through that definition for stigma?
Yes, health-related stigma.
No. What was your research question?
The issues to understand the issues linked with the stigma and the that are present to combat against stigma.
No, I'm asking research question specifically.
Specifically.
Okay, Dr. Srinivas, if you have anything to ask, please.
Which are the two other important diseases where stigma is dealt in public health?
One is HIV.
Okay.
And mostly mental illnesses.
Have you heard of a disease called tuberculosis?
Yes, sir. Tuberculosis.
Is there stigma in tuberculosis?
Yes, sir. Yes.
So in your search, what you saw only 237 papers which have come for stigma and public health.
Yes, sir. I didn't get you, sir.
See, if you look just tuberculosis and stigma, there are thousands of papers. But
yes, sir,
I think your search word would have been, when you talk about public health is a broader term.
Yes.
Okay, fine.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you for giving the opportunity. Thank you so much.
The next participant is Dr. Shiv Kumar. Sir.
So you may present your screen.
Sir, you're on mute.
Am I audible, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
Go on, Mr. Shukumar.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Dr. Shivkumar from KIMS Hubballi, and I'm here today to present my paper on perception of medical students on the overall effectiveness of online classes, a cross-sectional study. COVID-19 pandemic has resulted in millions of cases and lakhs of deaths throughout the world, and has totally disrupted the physical communication around the world. The only way to solve this issue is through e-communication. Meanwhile, colleges and institutions have been shut down as a part of lockdown, as a part of COVID control measures, which has hampered the academics of the students, more so with the medical students, as practical clinical discussions are more important for them. Right to education is a fundamental right, and this fundamental right has been breached by uh, this pandemic, and online classes have acted as a bridge to fulfill this lacuna. The traditional classroom teaching has been replaced by online classes during this tough time. The pros of the online teaching are uh, students will get an opportunity to watch a lecture again and again. Online classes, the scheduling is more flexible and convenient. When we come to the disadvantages of the online classes, students may lack the motivation. There will be lots of distraction in the form of chat box notifications and all. And there can be network issues for those who are attending the classes from the remote areas. Apart from this, both learner as well as teacher are new to this online classes, as this is for the first time when both of them are completely relying on online platform for their knowledge. Coming to the objectives of my study, my objectives were to assess the perception of medical students on the overall effectiveness of classes, to evaluate the factors that influence student satisfaction towards the online classes, to identify the strength and weakness of online teaching, to assess the effect of online sessions on the health of the students. We conducted this study on 312 medical students from different government as well as private colleges throughout the Karnataka for a period of 1 month. We did convenient sampling. The data was collected using a pre-designed semi-structured questionnaire through Google Forms. And the data was entered in Microsoft Excel and analyzed using the SPSS 22 version software. Coming to the results, the table 1 on the screen shows the socio-demographic features of the study participants, and we can see that majority of the study participants, like more of the study participants were male, majority of them were Hindus belonging to nuclear families, and the perceived social status of the family according to the participants were majority were belonging to middle class. We can see table 2 where students perception on overall effectiveness on of online as well as traditional teaching is asked, and in the table we can see that only 20%, 20.5% of the students were able to recall whatever was taught in online classes, and more number of students, that is almost 50% of them were able to recall whatever was taught in classroom teaching. Similarly, for almost 25% of them, only 25% of them felt that the objectives of the online classes were fulfilled, whereas almost 60% of them felt that the objectives of the classroom teaching were fulfilled. And more than 70% of the students felt that classroom learning is more engaging when compared to online classes. And in online classes, there are more distractions. We can see table 3 on the screen, which shows the factors influencing student satisfaction. And in this screen, we can and in this table, we can see that majority, almost 85% of the students say that internet connectivity affects the quality of learning, and 73% of them feel online classes should be more interactive. 51% of them feel online classes flexibility of scheduling is better than the traditional classroom teaching, and 64% of them felt rewatching the previous videos is more helpful, and only 35% of them feel that instructors are beneficial in conducting online classes. 30% of them feel online classes increase the productive time. 20% of them are of the notion that instructor is only 20% of them are of the notion that instructor is paying attention to each student adequately. And 67% of them feel that online classes lack personal touch. On the screen, we can see figure 1. Figure 1 explains that only 45% of the students are interested in online classes. And only
One more
43%
minute
of the
left.
students.
Sir,
Yeah,
you
thank
have
you,
one
ma'am.
more.
Yeah, thank you. Only figure 2, we can see that only 43% of the students prefer to ask questions in the chat windows. And figure 3 shows that 73% of the study participants uh, were disturbed because of this chat box notification. And figure 4 shows that the preferred method of online session was live sessions followed by video tutorials and slideshows. This is table 4 showing the health issues due to online classes. And because of long screen hours, majority of the study participants complained headache, pain, eye pain, and burning sensation in the eye. When it came to behavioral changes, majority of them presented with loss of interest and irritability. Because of postural changes during these classes, the most common symptoms reported were neck pain and back pain. To conclude, most of the students preferred classroom teaching over online classes. Online classes should be more interactive according to the students. Most of the students complained of headache, loss of interest, and backache. Majority of the students felt theory classes are not enough to be a doctor, and online classes are not a permanent solution for this issue. I would like to recommend regular training for teachers, and the students should be divided into small groups for
Kishore,
discussions
your
so that
time is up.
yeah, ma'am. Just 10 seconds. Students should be divided into small groups for discussion so that they feel like they're getting adequate attention. And makers of the teleconferencing app should make necessary changes to eliminate the chat box disturbances. I would like to thank Dr. Rizwana B. Sheikh, ma'am, for guiding us throughout this project. And I would like to thank our HOD, sir, Dr. D.D. Bund, and my team members for the support. These are my references. Thank you.
Praveen.
Thank
Praveen,
you,
you can start.
Srinivas. Yeah,
Yeah.
thanks. This is a very good study, Dr. Shiv, very important at this point in time. My only question is, whatever questionnaire you have developed, was this validated? What measures did you take to validate this questionnaire? Because throughout the country, many studies of this kind have taken place. So this is just I want to know from you.
Sir, actually, validation of questionnaire was not done, sir. We have taken questions from different research articles that we came across. So, validation actually we didn't do.
Okay, second question is, can you generalize the findings of your research?
Sir, actually, at this point of time, we can generalize the research findings to like all the fields, sir, not just medical field. But this is these things can be like it can be generalized, sir, because we have conducted for medical students at least it can be generalized as the study was conducted across Karnataka, sir. Like all the private as well as different government colleges were included in the study. So
Okay, what was the
results,
period? What was the period of your study? In which months of this year you conducted this study?
sir, April and sir, yeah, April and May, sir.
Okay, I have what could be the possible bias related to the results of this study? As the study was conducted in April, what are the common biases you can find?
Sir, a recall bias can be there, sir, because it's almost lockdown more than a month. More than a month has passed. So, like whatever questions we are asking regarding the online classes, like classroom teaching, so their recall may not be recall bias can be there, sir. And
The concern is only during that period of time the online classes were started. Okay, so
yes, sir.
teachers were also getting accustomed to take
Yes, sir.
online classes. Whatever results you are projecting related to the teachers, only these many percentage of teachers were able to take the online classes. There are some biases associated, and also the mental problems you have listed, anxiety, depression. There is always a problem that some of those conditions may be related to the lockdown. Okay, so you need to really differentiate between whether those conditions were related to the COVID lockdown, or it was because of the online classes. That's all from my end, Srinivas.
Thank you, sir.
What is social lag, Mr. Shikumar? Cultural lag or social lag? Am I audible? Hello?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I can hear, sir. Social lag, sir.
What is social or cultural lag?
Sir. Sorry,
Okay.
sir. I don't know.
So 364 medical students represent the entire Karnataka medical students. This is what you meant to say when you were saying about generalizability?
Sir, no, sir. Actually, like we have, like our study participants were from both private as well as government colleges, sir. And they were from North as well as South Karnataka. Like all the colleges were included, sir.
My question is simple. 364 will represent the entire denominator of medical students of Karnataka. Yes or no?
Yes, sir. Like sample with the calculated sample, we can.
What is your sampling technique? What is the sample size required to generalize for the entire state?
Sir, we took the prevalence of prevalence from the previous study, sir.
What prevalence study you took?
Sir, the earlier studies conducted that showed like the online classes. Just a minute, sir. I'll show.
You told the convenient sampling of 314, but now you are saying you have calculated based on something. Okay. See.
Sir, actually, we took the prevalence of one of the factors, sir. Like
what factor?
Effectiveness. Like in one of the study, we got the effectiveness. Overall effectiveness was this some percent, sir. And with that, we took it as prevalence and kept the error as 5% and calculated using the formula 4 into prevalence into 1 minus prevalence divided by error 4 pq by d square we use, sir.
Okay. Now, one last question. Can you
Yes.
really measure effectiveness in a cross-sectional study?
It's difficult, sir.
What will you measure in a cross-sectional study?
We can. It's a prevalence study, sir. We can measure the prevalence.
Okay, fine. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. The next participant is Dr. TV.
Yes, ma'am.
You may.
Can I present, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
Just go on.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm presenting a paper on a title, A Cross-Sectional Study to Assess the Reasons for Opting Medical Profession and Specialty Preferences Among Undergraduate Medical Students in Karnataka. Coming to introduction, doctors are considered as the cream of the nation, which inclines many students to opt for MBBS as their career after finishing their higher secondary schooling. And medical profession is one of the most highly rated profession among the students, especially in India, due to the fact that it offers financially as well as socially satisfying career. And however, many students opted medicine as their career due to the parental pressure, peer pressure, sibling pressure, or even because of their good ranking. And pursuing post-graduation after completion of MBBS is also considered as a compulsory qualification of specialization for practice, especially in India. With this background, we have conducted a study to assess the reasons for students opting medical sciences as their professional course and to assess the factors which influence medical students' choice of future specialization in medical sciences. It was a cross-sectional study conducted among third and fourth year medical students across Karnataka in the month of April and May 2020 with a sample size of calculated sample size of 240. However, we have 260 and data was collected to pre-designed semi-structured through Google Forms
we have included all the study participants who have given consent to participate who do not consent. We have collected data, convenience link, questionnaire consists of section, so data, reason for PBS, and specialty preferences. And data was entered into a and slide as presented. The results in our study, it is of 2.9% female, 48% male, and the participants were from tiered areas, majority were from and majority were from upper middle class according to region, and the age of the participants was 20.77 years. Coming to figure number 1, we can see that majority of the study participants interest. However, considerable proportion of the students chose out of family pressure or their good rank. And in table number 2, it shows some of the factors motivate to join MBBS and service to save life, motivational factors. Factors such as respect and fame, job security.
Your voice is breaking, ma'am.
Hello.
Are the slides actually moving?
No, slides are also not moving.
Yeah, we are at the objective slide.
Yes.
Okay, sir.
Ma'am, do you want us to share the presentation from here?
Okay, if you okay, can you please share then? Okay, shall I start from the beginning, sir?
No, go to results which you are showing.
Okay, can I move to the results?
Yep.
Result of the okay, from the first table itself, our study consists of 52% female and 48% male, and majority of the study participants were from third year MBBS students. Majorities were from nuclear family. Majority were from upper middle class according to Kupuswamy classification, and the study mean age of the study participants was 20.77 years. Next slide, please. Ma'am, next slide. Okay, from figure number 1, we can see the reasons for choosing MBBS as career. Majority of the study, we can see that majority of them chose out of their own interest. However, considerable proportion of the students also chose this career out of family pressure and also because of their good rank. And table number 2, it shows the motivating factors to join MBBS. Majority of them join to save life was a major motivational factor for them to join. However, some of the other factors such as respect and fame, job security, earn lots of money, no other alternatives were also some of the motivational factors for them to join the course. Next slides. Figure number 2, we can see that 21% of the study participants regretted for choosing a career in MBBS. And in table number 3, it shows the reason for regretting after choosing the course. Some of the reasons were lack of interest, heavy study schedule and syllabus, prolonged year of study duration, pressure and exam stresses. And the plans after MBBS in figure number 3, 84% of the students desire to pursue PG, post-graduation, as their future plan after finishing their course. Next slide, please. Okay, figure number 4 showed branch of interest. Medicine and surgery were the two major branch of interest, followed by pediatrics and obstetrics and gynae. And the reasons for the interest were mainly because of their own interest. However, because of the demanding branch and because it offered more fame and money with little effort, low risk were also some of the interest reason for the interest of the branch. Next slide. So in conclusion, we saw that self-interest, good train, and family pressure were the reasons for opting MBBS. And service to save lives and job security were major motivational factors. And one-fourth of the students regretted for choosing MBBS. Medicine and surgery were the major branch of interest. Self-interest and demand of the branch were the major factors that influenced their choice of future specialization. So in conclusion, as we saw that one-fourth of the students regretted for opting medical profession, career guidance and counseling needs to be provided to the student before they take the course. And parents should also be educated to support their children to choose appropriate career. And since most of the students desire to take only the clinical branches, the importance of the non-clinical subject during undergraduation needs also be emphasized. An introduction of mentoring programs and formal career counseling during undergraduate training can positively influence students' interest in basic medical specialties. So, at last, I want to thank Dr. Rizwana ma'am for her guidance and my HOD, Dr. Didi Bansar, and all the team members for their help. Without them, this study would not have been possible. Next slide. These are the list of my references. Thank you.
Praveen,
Yeah, thank you, madam, for good presentation. So, may I know what are the public health implications of your study?
Sir, like public implication in the sense like suicidal depression, sir, like the prevalence of depression and all is becoming very much prevalent. It's very much high all over the world, especially in India as well. So this if the student, we've seen that the students, if they are taking something out of their interest, they especially like they don't usually perform well even in their future course, and they tend to be more depressed. So this is one of the public health implication of our study, sir. Am I audible, sir?
yes, you are audible. Praveen? Okay, I think Praveen has some. Yeah, am I audible?
Yes, sir, you're audible, sir.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
see, one of the important factor. Have you considered the parents' occupation?
Sir, we have taken Kupuswami classification. So in that, like occupation of the head of the family is also included.
Okay, does it has a difference in choosing the profession when the parent is already a medical professional?
Yes, sir. We saw. Actually, I didn't play that particular table in my PPT, but we have seen that those parents who are already a doctor, their children are also like tend to be to force to take the same course, especially like the PG course. If we see, if the parents are already specialized in that particular branch, they force their children. I mean, the students are also opted that particular branch, mainly because
See,
parents. Yes.
what time of the course did you conduct the study? What is the average duration of the study participants who have spent in the medical course?
Sir, third year and
Freshers?
fourth year. No, sir. Like third year and fourth year we consider, and third year and fourth year MBBS students.
Okay. See, can you, one of the important thing is, can you generalize your results of 1 point in times measurement as 1/4, almost 25% of the participant being
Yes.
regretting their choice of course?
Generalizability can be doubtful because we have included only those students who have volunteered to participate, and so there is like one limitation for study, sir.
What is this bias called?
So selection.
Self-selection bias. Okay, Praveen.
Yes.
I think that's fine. No question.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Okay, thank you so much.
The next presenter. Dr. Akshay, sir?
Yeah, I shall share the presentation.
Okay, sir.
Can I start?
Yes, please.
Good afternoon to one and all. The title of my paper is A Cross-Sectional Study to Assess the Prevalence of Anxiety and Perception of E-Learning Among School Teachers. Myself, Dr. Akshay Subramanian, second year postgraduate, Department of Community Medicine, Public. E-learning has been of various academic pursuits today for the last few decades. But the sudden emergence of COVID pandemic has forced it upon us, as there was a need for a continuance of education even for the school students. For millions of the youth, they are waiting for us to continue the education. Although being a vehicle for knowledge transfer, it's more of a hub for skill set advancement. We can have a lot of eminent personalities from different fields trying to communicate over a simple software to the tiny tots so that they get information of varied aspects from different people to increase their skill set. Moreover, it emphasizes on connecting the dots rather than just mugging traditional learning. It helps them to visualize the mathematical models that is being taught, to connect the physical principles, and can also have a raw of personality of seeing the and great literary greats in front of their minuscule screen of few inches rather than just mugging up from the textbooks. With an objective, this prevalence of anxiety among school teachers, and to understand the perception of e-learning among school teachers, and to check if it could be a modality to aid in future teaching. For which a cross-sectional study was done over a period of 4 weeks from June 2020 to July 2020. 100 school teachers using convenience sampling from different corners of the country were selected of the board and the medium of instruction of the school to which they are affiliated to, and irrespective of the rural difference. A pre-tested structured questionnaire was sent through the Google Forms and the responses were documented. They were documented in the Microsoft Excel sheet, and the observations were tabulated percentages and expressed in the form of pie charts. The anxiety among the school teachers were assessed Hamilton anxiety rating scale. The basic are mentioned in this particular four figures. The mean age of the study subjects was 38, between 24 years to 60 years. 68% of the study subjects were male teachers, and and a positive aspect of this particular study is we were able to generalize the study, even though the study sample was only 100, since it were from different corners of the country, and also almost equally distributed between the CBSE and the state schools. 45% were from CBSE. 60% of the teachers taught in private schools, 30% in aided, and other 10% in government schools. 85% of the teachers taught in schools situated in urban areas. When the single most reason for favoring e-learning was asked, among all the others, visual orientation was chosen by 32% of the teachers. In adding to it, when we come to the figure 2, only 34% of the teachers felt that 61 to 80% of the subject matter designated for that particular online class only were able to be completed. Probably, this could be seen reflected in the table 2, which states that only 54% of the teachers were given training before the online classes were started. Yet, 58% of the teachers, as per table 1, favored the process of. Among the reasons for not favoring e-learning, poor connectivity, 30%, and more than that, the lack of face-to-face communications dominated the causes among others. Investment to buy laptop were required for about 35% of the study subjects, whereas 67% teachers opined the e-learning or platform-based learning helped in expanding the horizon of the children. Using the Hamilton rating scale, 90% of the teachers experienced mild anxiety, whereas 5% experienced moderate anxiety, and another 5% severe anxiety. Conclude with 58% teachers believe that e-learning could definitely be a way for teaching students, but 52% modifications and measures need to be in place before the actual process of e-learning could be started. In spite of all the difficulties and 46% teachers not receiving the training,
So you have
still,
1 more minute left.
yeah, thank you. 58% of the teachers have felt that e-learning could be a modality for the future. The study results even entertains the same aspect with little bit of recommendations for a training for such teachers before such projects are being initiated. These are my references. End this particular presentation, let me put food for thought. A decade back, when somebody would have said we will be having our classes in online mode, we would have thought it's never an approachable idea. But then, as the great GBS once said, some see things as they are and ask why. Other dreams things that never were and ask why not. So let's have a food for thought. Why don't we take this COVID pandemic as a cause for it? And why not e-learning as an aid along with the systemic learning for a better skill set advancement for the school students? Thank you, one and all.
Yeah, Akshay, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it's a very good study. A lot of studies are done in medical teachers. I think among school teachers, it's one of a very important study. So my
Thank you.
question is, did they have any coping strategies or coping skills to combat this anxiety?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I mean, but only a few of the handful of the schools, which had conducted the training sessions, had also advised them on preparatory methods before the actual process of classes being taken. To have a review of them, to have a mock class being taken for few other, I mean, among the school teachers itself, or if not, for at their own home for the other family members to have a couple of initial mock, so that before the actual class is taken to the students, factor more and they'll be having more of a confidence. Am I audible, sir?
Yes, you are.
So that was one of the factors, sir. The other aspect of it was to look into various YouTube videos wherein by online classes are taken and incorporate the basic positivity from it to get a self motivation and a factor, and then have a class taken for a larger mass.
So do we have any more questions?
So, what were the class these teachers teaching? Did you take primary, higher primary, secondary? Which school teachers did you target?
I mean, these were basically from 5th standard to 12th standard, sir.
Okay. Okay, fine, Akshay. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Akshay,
Yes, sir.
hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, sir.
Yeah, I have a very last question. I think I lost connectivity in between.
Yes,
Akshay, yeah. How did you calculate the sample size?
so this was based on the convenience sampling, which is a limitation, which I agree, sir. But then we were able to generalize it because the study subjects were taken from different corners of the country, right from the state of Kerala to Jammu Kashmir.
Which state represented highest and which state was the least?
Karnataka and Kerala represented the highest, sir. Whereas there were few states from which we couldn't get teachers for the study, sir.
How did you connect to them? How did you approach them, other state teachers?
So it was basically through personal contacts, sir. Like it was distributed among the UG students, and it was asked to be given to the teacher. I mean, there's the teachers who taught the UG students during their school years. Like, and we got few students who had their schooling done in Delhi, few students who had their schooling done in Bangalore.
Got it. Did your EC approve the study, ethics committee?
Sorry, sir?
Did your ethics committee approve the study?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. The next participant is Dr. Girish.
Dr. Girish, sir, your mic is on mute.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Am I audible now?
Yes, sir, you're audible now.
Good afternoon, all. Myself, Dr. Girisham, third year postgrad student from MIMS Media, and my study perception and challenges faced by medical students after introduction of e-learning. Coming to the introduction from the COVID-19. Was recorded in India in January 2020. The country has shown an exceptional increase in case, and at present there are expected about 10 lakh cases. And as a preventive measures and to break the chain of transmission, the government of India ordered a nationwide lockdown from March 25, restricting the functioning of the educational institutes that challenges all levels of education, especially the college students. And the transition to online learning have changed the perception of students towards e-learning and also faces certain challenges to adjust to the new learning environment. With the above introduction, my objective, coming to the objective of the study, to assess the students' perception towards e-learning and to identify the challenges of online classes faced by the students. Coming to the materials and methods, it's a cross-sectional study which was done in the month of November 2020. And study population includes all the undergraduate students of Mandya Institute of Medical Science, Mandya, and the sampling was that is from first year to final year students were taken, and the sampling method is convenient sampling. Coming to the inclusion criteria, students who are having greater than 50% of attendance in online classes were included, and those who don't have those who don't give any consent were excluded from the criteria. Coming to the method of data collection, a pre-tested semi-structured questionnaire was sent to all the students by using Google Form, and the analysis was done by descriptive statistics. Coming to the results, I have divided my results according to the following domains like quality of e-learning, innovations, and any problems faced. Coming to the quality of e-learning, under the quality of e-learning, these are all the following questions like gadgets used, possession of gadgets, classes per week, and time spent on studying. And coming to the gadgets used, most of them had used mobile phones for the e-learning, and the professional gadgets is most of them own the gadgets, and the classes per week is most of them had daily classes, include all the subjects, and time spent on studying, most of them had less than normal. During usual days, less than normal time is usually spent for learning. Coming to the student-teacher interaction, uh, uh, about 290 students opined that there is somewhat student-teacher interaction. And coming to the benefits of e-learning, about 81% of the students were able to develop new skills, and 74% of the students were able to manage time, and 26% thought that it was innovative, and 48% thought that it was easily accessible, and only 35% thought that that improved their skills. Coming to the challenges faced during e-learning, 70% had the problem of access to internet surfing and software applications, and 75% thought that they had spent extra money on internet and managing electronic devices, and 47.1% had difficulty in time management. Coming to the impact of COVID-19 on education, 73.5% of the students thought the economic condition of the family is affected because of COVID, and 70.7% of family would affect your education because of COVID, and only 26.3% thought that the knowledge is better in case of e-learning. Coming to the conclusion, only 12.9% of the students have positive perception towards e-learning, and students are not influenced by digital learning, and they are more inclined towards face-to-face learning than e-learning. These are all my references. Hello.
Yeah, Dr. Girish, it was Srinivas, please go.
Yeah, go on, PK.
Yeah, I'll just finish off. I have a EC meeting right now, so I'll just finish off my questions and yeah, Doctor, I think it's a good study. I think you try to find out the challenges associated. May I know the students, which year students represented highest sample size in your study?
Sir, actually, in MIMS, 150 from first year to third year, sir. Fourth year, only 100 members, sir. So 550.
All students who were studying in MIMS Monday are included?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Universal sampling, sir. Actually, I took all students from first year to fourth year, sir.
Okay, so I think that's all from my end. Dr. Srinivas, please go.
To continue from where he left, see, one of your inclusion criteria says those who have more than 50% attendance only were taken, but you are saying now universal sampling.
Sir, but most of them had actually more than 50% of attendance. All had more than 50% attendance.
Okay, so your universal sampling has this inclusion criteria of more than 50% sample, more than 50% yes, attendance.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Then it doesn't become universal sampling; it becomes purposive sampling.
Sir. Okay.
Okay. What do you like to conclude with this just 12.1% or 12.9% saying it was productive? Is there any bias or is there anything which you left out in asking them?
Sir, anything related to the internet connectivity or a demographic profile, I didn't ask sir, actually.
Okay.
A demographic profile like their socioeconomic status, because internet and all and computer, most of them used mobiles for e-learning.
Okay.
I didn't ask about the demographic profiles.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Girish. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. That was the end of our session for today. So coming to the end of the session, we would like to thank all our speakers for their insightful presentation. And we also like to thank our judges, Dr. Srinivas sir and Dr. Praveen sir, for their valuable feedback and their guidance. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, Srinivas. Nice meeting you virtually.
Okay. We shall meet soon. Thank you, PK.
Sure.
Thank you, everyone.
Hello. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Namaste. Namaste, Umesh.
Hi, sir.
Hello, sir. Hi, Babita. Hi. Hello.
Nice
Hello.
to see you all. He's an undergraduate,
Yeah.
sir.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Please. So, wish you all the best to the presenters. Very good.
So we have actually 4 candidates, of which 2 of them are not presenting. Apparently, they didn't get permission from their college.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, so they're not presenting. And so the other 2 candidates are presenting today.
Right. Who are the 2 presenting?
Anup and Moksha.
Okay, fine. So that
Dr.
means
Umesh also has joined.
one more has joined. Good.
Umesh has joined. Yes.
So Anup and Moksha. Dr. Umesh, you are fine?
Yes, sir. Am I audible, sir?
Yeah. Why don't you come on the video?
Yes, sir. Sir?
Yeah, please.
Good evening to one and all present here.
Good
We
evening.
welcome you to the third day of what do you say?
The other participants can mute their microphones except the presenter.
Good evening, one and all present here. We welcome you to the 32nd State Level Annual Conference of Karnataka Association of Community Health, hosted by Ramaya Medical College. The theme for this year is Redefining Public Health, COVID-19 and Beyond. With this, we shall begin our UG presentations. Before that, we'd like to introduce our judges, Dr. Prithvish S., Consultant, ICMR, NCDIR, Bangalore, and Dr. Umesh Ramdar, Professor, Department of Community Medicine, SNMC, Bagalkot. We welcome you, sir. We're really privileged to have you guys judging this session. Thank you so much, sir. I'd also like to begin our session now.
Yeah, thank you.
Our first presenter for today is Anoop. Mr. Anoop, can you please share your screen? Mr. Anoop? Also,
Am I
before
audible?
starting, I would like to announce that you'll be getting 6 minutes to present and 2 minutes for the discussion.
Hello. Am I audible, sir?
Yes, you're audible.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Shall I present, sir?
Yeah.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Anup KM, an intern working in GIMS Gadag. I have done a study among assessment of dehydration and evaluation and risk factors of dehydration in acute diarrheal diseases.
Dr.
Among
Anup, can you presentation?
Sir?
Can you just please present your slides in presentation mode?
Not able to hear you properly, sir. Can you repeat, sir, please?
Can you do a presentation mode?
Can
Your
you please
slides?
click on slideshow?
Sure. Yes, sir.
I request the organizers to consider from time now on. Please start.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. Good afternoon, everyone. We have done a study regarding assessment of dehydration and evaluation of risk factors for dehydration in acute diarrheal diseases among aged under 5 children. The most severe threat with the diarrhea is dehydration. It's both preventable and treatable. The current estimate in under 5 children suggests that there are about 1.7 billion episodes of diarrhea per year, with 123 million clinic visits annually and 9 million hospitalizations worldwide, with a loss of 62 million disability adjusted life years. The burden of the acute diseases in India are related to India only. The India is third leading cause of childhood mortality in India, and in during 2013 in India, acute diarrheal disease counts about one for this one under 5 age group. In 2013, about 10.7 million cases with 1,535 deaths were reported in India. Hello, am I audible, sir?
Yeah, you are very clear. Please proceed.
Okay, thank you. These are the very common causes which are causes for the diarrheal diseases in the children. The main causes for the viruses, which are the most common cause of causing diarrhea in diseases in children, are rotaviruses, astroviruses, adenoviruses, and calciviruses, coronaviruses, and enteroviruses, cytomegaloviruses. In the bacterial related part, Campylobacter jejuni and Enteroinvasive E. coli, these are the most common causes which are causing diarrhea in the children. The other, like Entamoeba histolytica and Giardia intestinalis and Techiasis, these are also causes diarrhea in children among age 5 people. Our main objective was to study the determinants of the dehydration due to the acute diarrheal diseases which is caused among age 5 under children. These are the materials and methods we have used to collect the data and study the research. The source of data is the mothers of under 5 children who had acute diarrheal diseases attending pediatric department of GIMS Gadag. The type of study it was conducted as an observational study. A sampling unit was under 5 children who had acute diarrheal disease. The sample size was taken to be 36, and all the children who have diarrhea who attended the pediatric department of the GIMS Kadar during the study period were included. And the study period was taken by 1 month, May to June 2017. The inclusion criteria are all the children under 5 who had acute diarrheal diseases and visited the pediatric department of GIMS Kadar. Exclusion criteria was the mothers who were not willing to participate in the study were excluded. The method of data collection was used. All the mothers of under 5 children who attended the pediatric department during the study period were interviewed and pre-tested with a semi-structured questionnaire. The performer included socio-demographic profile of the subjects, type of dehydration, and determination of the dehydration. The statistical analysis which we have used is we have used the EpiInfo software, and the data was entered in the Excel format, and descriptive statistics like frequencies of the percentage were calculated. Association between the risk factors and type of dehydration were analyzed using chi-square method. The p-values less than or equal to 0.05 were considered statistically significant. The result which we got was in our study duration of illness, history of bottle filling was p-value less is equal to 0.05, and the urban rural residence was p-value is equal to 0.05, which was very significant associated with the dehydration. The other factors which were assessed was including the age, gender, birth, the order of birth, age of the mother, type of family, no birth weight, and history of immunization. According to that, basically in the compared to nuclear family, the joint family people have in some dehydration we have 16% of 16 people, like 72.7% have some dehydration, but compared to in nuclear families, the no dehydration and severe dehydration were more compared to the joint families. These are the variables we got. The people who have the history of bottle feeding, the 73.3% of the people have some dehydration, and the 16.7% of the people got severe dehydration, and 3 people with no history of bottle feeding or 10% have no dehydration. The conclusions are in our major study majority belong to 2 to 3 years of age of second or birth order, rural residency, and belong to Hindu religion and joint family. The major risk factors were severe dehydration were female gender, first birth order, rural residency, nuclear family, low birth weight, and partially immunized. History of chronic illness and more duration of chronic illness was significant. However, the except duration of illness and rural residence, other factors were statistically not significant. Our recommendation after the study was mothers should be educated regarding the dehydration and caused by the acute diarrheal diseases and breastfeeding importance. Parents should be counseled on the importance of diet, dehydration science, and management. These are the references we got for the research we have conducted the study. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Probably organizers, can we go in for a small interaction?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. I have 2 small questions. Then probably Dr. Umesh will take over with the questions.
Okay, sir.
Anup, you did a good job. Was Dr. Sandeep your guide for this?
No, sir. Our guide was Dr. Arvind from GIMS Gadag, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay. I have a small, 2 small questions I have. One is, what do you mean by a determinant?
Determinant, it's a factor which is responsible for the disease or for the issue, sir.
See, yeah, can you go back to the last slide of conclusion, please?
This one, sir?
This one.
Okay, sir.
You here, looking at your design of the study, do you think the conclusions you have made, it can be extrapolated to the entire Gadag district?
Yes, yes, sir. Yes, sir. But
can it be extrapolated to the entire Gadag? Because you have done a hospital-based study.
Yes, sir. Yes,
is
sir.
it possible to extrapolate to the entire district?
Yes, I think it is possible, sir, because the people who are coming to the district hospital Gadag will represent the whole people of the Gadag's district, and most of the people have the same mindset and the same uh, same causes for the dehydration, everything.
Did you study? Did you study from where the people came? From how many kilometers the people came?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. There were almost about around 50 kilometers radius. The people were coming to this hospital, sir. Around 50 kilometers. Yes.
Okay, that means even people from Hulkoti, where there is a PHC, they will come to Gadag?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Why? Services are available in Hulkoti, no?
Sir, although there were the basic necessary treatment was
Here
given
again,
in
the
the
education
PHC.
of the mothers is important. That
Yes, sir.
area can be managed in their own place. Is it not?
Sir. Yes, sir.
Good.
Yes, sir.
Good. You did a good presentation. You will do it well and also expand this study also. Dr. Umesh, please.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
I hope that was a good presentation.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, much, sir.
Yeah, I just want to know, your conclusion includes most of the summary of the study. It's just like summary of your findings, but actually I couldn't see the conclusion. What was the inference you have got out of this study? What you want to convey the message?
The message which basically we got after the research was the people who are from the joint family has more the people who are the second order birth of the child and the people from the joint family, they have prone for more the people who are prone for more dehydrations compared to the nuclear family, and the people who have the bottle feeding practices, the childs, they have more compared to not bottle feeding people, they have more prone to the dehydration.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Anu.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Anu. Our next presenter for the day is Ms. Moksha Prasad.
Good afternoon. Can I share access to share my screen? Thank you.
Yes.
Can I start?
Your presentation is not visible. Seen now. Start.
Presentation is visible for me, very clear. Only the central portion has some problem.
Shall I present it from here?
Can you?
I think you can start your presentation.
Yes, sir.
You may start your presentation. You haven't sent it to us.
Okay. Just a minute. Good afternoon. I am Moksha Prasad. I'm a third year medical student, and my study was to assess the knowledge, aptitude, and practice among doctors practicing in Karnataka towards SARS-CoV-2. So, in January 2020, the causative agent of an outbreak of viral pneumonia centered around Wuhan was identified as a novel coronavirus, the SARS-CoV-2, and the outbreak was declared a public health emergency of international concern by the WHO on 30th of January. And on the 11th of February, they named the new coronavirus disease COVID-19. And in India, we had the first case of COVID-19 was reported on the 27th of January 2020. The vaccine and purpose of the study, 2002, we had SARS that emerged in China, and more than 8,000 people fell ill and 774 died, but these numbers were surpassed by SARS-CoV-2 within 2 months. And in 2012, there was an outbreak of Middle East respiratory syndrome causing an illness similar to SARS. These viruses, along with the new virus, belong to the same family of Coronaviridae. And knowing the mode of transmission of SARS-CoV-2, doctors and healthcare workers are expected to be at a higher risk of infection. So effective infection prevention and control practices depend upon the awareness and compliance among doctors and healthcare workers at all levels. Poor knowledge can escalate the rapid spread of the infection in the hospitals. It was a cross-sectional study, and as it was not feasible to do a community-based sampling survey during this period, we collected the data online, and the study was conducted for 1 month, and the population was doctors who were practicing in Karnataka. So the inclusion criteria was the doctors practicing in Karnataka and who gave online consent, and the doctors who do not practice in Karnataka or who did not wish to participate were excluded. The sample size was 113. We used a self-developed questionnaire that considered a brief introduction of background, objective, and consent. So the question of 28 questions, 5 regarding demography, 11 to assess knowledge, 4 for attitude, and 8 for practice assessment. There were 2 other questions, one regarding any training programs that were conducted at their place of work, and one that asked if the doctors faced any stigma because of their work during the pandemic. The knowledge was assessed based on the transmission of the virus, clinical features, diagnosis, treatment, and complications. Attitude was assessed by asking the disease in particular, fear of one or more of their family members contracting the disease, and the chance of recovery of a person infected with SARS-CoV-2. The practice was using Likert scale for assessing the behavior of doctors by asking them to rate if they do wash their hands for 20 seconds using soap and water, if they use masks, if they use alcohol as hand rub, and so on. The data was analyzed using SSPS 20 software. A total of 13 doctors participated in the study with a response rate of 97%. And majority of the participants belong to the age group of 21 to 40 years, followed by 41 to 50, and 60.9% of our responses were from females. Around 67.3 were consultants, and frequency of junior and senior residents was 24.5 and 8.2 respectively. The consultants and junior and senior residents showed us that the knowledge, attitude, and practice scores were better among consultants. All the participants were aware of the ongoing COVID-19 outbreak, and social media was the major source of information, followed by television, media, and teaching programs. 95.5% of the participants agree that currently there is no effective cure, but early symptomatic and supportive treatment can help most patients recover from the infection. And 99.1% isolation and treatment of people who are infected with the virus are effective ways to reduce the spread of the virus. When symptoms of SARS-CoV-2, majority of the participants chose fever, difficulty breathing, and cough. And when asked regarding the transmission of the virus, few of our participants chose a consumption of non-vegetarian food to be a mode of transmission. As we can see, 100% of the participants had only 55.5% had good attitude, and 60.9% of them had good practices. Tracking the virus on a scale of 0 to 10, it was observed that there was increased fear of one of their family members contracting the virus compared to the fear of participants contracting the virus themselves, and 56% of participants did not forward to to be a life-threatening disease, and 87.3% of them consider with SARS-CoV-2 usually recover. In our study, female respondents had better knowledge and attitude scores, but poorer practice score. 59.1% of the participants reported that there were training programs conducted at their place of work regarding the management of the disease, and 16.4% doctors had faced stigma because of their line of work during the
Moksha, your
pandemic.
6 minutes are over.
Okay. So, in conclusion, from the study, we can infer that even though participants possess good knowledge regarding the virus and its management, measures have to be taken to improve their attitude and practice. And the government needs to take measures to make sure there's no violence or stigma faced by doctors and other frontline workers. Thank you. These are my.
Thank you. Judges, we may initiate the discussion.
Sir, your microphone is muted.
Okay, thank you. I will. I have two small questions. Then Dr. Umesh Ramdurg will take over. Moksha, you did a good job.
Thank you, sir.
Very nice. See, what I see is the awareness of the doctors was 100%, and also the attitude and the practice 55% and 60%.
Yes, sir.
What may be the reason for this?
Because a widespread, there was a lot of information available in the beginning, and there was information being shared. And recently, we had the doctors did get Nipah viral outbreak, and we did have some baseline information because of the SARS and outbreak. So that might have contributed.
Moksha, what you can do is you can keep this in your mind and try to find out from the information what you have and in future studies. But three things come to my mind. One is probably the circulars, training, and the communication from government must have been very good. Number one. Number two, probably another major reason is doctors were highly dedicated. That's why we see 100% knowledge, curiosity, and attitude also, very high attitude, very good. Practice could have been increased much more. Okay. Now, second question. May I know, can you improve more upon the design of this study? How can you improve on that? See, approaching 113 doctors is not easy. You have done that. In that context, what was the mode of approach?
So we and the WhatsApp group, and we took the numbers and we sent it to them. It was an online service, so they had to take a good response.
They cooperated. You found the cooperation to be very good?
Yes, sir.
That's very nice to know. How the entire study design could have been improved, you think so? You can think over that. Yeah, you can think over that with your guides. And you are from which institution?
Pardon?
Pardon? I'm not able to catch you.
Wiley Institute of Medical Sciences.
Vaidehi?
Yes, sir.
Dr. Prithvi, sir, you're on mute.
Who was your guide?
Sir, it was Rajendra Prasad and Dr. Santosh. They are actually working in Chandrama Dayanand Sagar Institute of Medical Sciences.
Okay. Okay, good, Moksha. You can further improve on this study. Think over this. Discuss with your people. Dr. Umesh Ramdurg.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Dr. Moksha, what are the limitations of your study?
So, as one of the limitations is that this was an online study and we could have approached more doctors. And as it would limited to Karnataka and it had only 113 doctors, the results cannot be generalized to all the doctors, especially from other states. And as no standardized tool for assessing the knowledge, attitude, and practice, and there's new information being found about the virus and the treatment modalities are focused on the questions, and the questionnaire was developed on the information available then. So
Okay.
that's
Okay, Moksha.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, I think we can proceed to the next presenter. Next presenter has come.
That was the end of the presentation, sir.
Okay,
There were no more
okay.
presenters.
Umesh, nice to see you. Nice to see you.
Yes, sir. I'll communicate with you, sir.
Yeah, please convey my regards to Dr. Dorle.
Yes, sir. Sure, sir. Sure, I'll do it, sir.
Babita, and who is the other person who is coordinating now here in this program? Who is coordinating this? What's your name?
So I'm Priya Shotro.
What's
Preeta Suresh.
huh?
Preeta Suresh, sir.
Which year you are studying, both of you?
Third year, sir.
Third year. Very good. Have you seen me?
No, sir.
No. Yeah, I was working earlier in your institution. Okay. Good. Both of you did a good job. Please convey our thanks on behalf of Dr. Umesh Ramdurg and Dr. Prithvish. Okay, for the opportunity to be part of this program. We will send you the details by email to Dr. Babita. Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Dr. Umesh, please give me a call after 2 minutes. Okay. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Dr. Prithvish, sir. Thank you, Dr. Umesh, sir, for taking your time to judge this session. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Umesh, ನೀವು ಫೋನ್ ಮಾಡಿ ನಂಗೆ ಫೋನ್ ಮಾಡಿ. Now this line will be accessed by others. Okay.
Yes.